are doing a continuation of my wedding series that I really wanted to do. I guess you guys really loved that video and I wanted to show you guys other types of makeup that we do for other events. As I had previously mentioned, we do a lot more events than just the wedding, so I'm going to be doing makeup depending on the different ceremonies that we do. So today I'm joined by my beautiful friend Aliza, who's here to be my model.
Hi everyone.
And I feel like she is the perfect model for this, so I was really excited to have her. It's a really in-depth tutorial as well. So what we are doing today is the makeup that we would wear to the haldi ceremony, which is also known as the pithi ceremony if you are Muslim. And that is basically the ceremony where we get the bride ready for the wedding day by making her skin glow. It's a cleansing process, so all the older family members of the house will come up to her and put natural products in her face, such as turmeric, gram flour, yogurt, and all these different things that are supposed to really be good for your skin and help your skin glow, because we are doing the ceremony before the wedding. Not on the wedding day, but a few days before. So what we tend to do is that we don't wear makeup for the actual time that we are doing the ceremony, but then the bride goes back and takes a shower, and then she gets her makeup and hair and stuff done to come back out into the event that's taking place. So if you guys want to see how we achieve this look, then please keep watching. This whole look is about skin, so the first thing we're going to be doing is using some Fix Plus on her face, just because I know her skin is dry to normal and can handle that, but also it's a great way to make sure you get dewy skin. Then I'm going in with Too Faced Shadow Insurance and putting that all over the eyelid, and also using Engraved eyeliner by MAC and putting that into the waterline. It's always a good idea to go ahead and get eyeliner out of the way now before you do concealer, or you might even smudge the concealer later. Next, with the Urban Decay Ammo Palette, I'm using the color Sin, which also comes separately, and I'm going to go ahead and pack that onto her eyelids. I'm going to keep packing until I get the desired opacity that I want, and to make sure it looks dark and vibrant. So you can even foil it at this point, but I didn't choose to do that for this particular look, but I am adding a lot just to make sure it is what we want it to look like. Next, I'm going in with some under eye concealer. I'm using my Graftobian palette of foundations. It's a foundation and concealer, and I'm using a color only one shade lighter than her skin, and going in all the way into the bridge of the nose, as well as right below the eyebrow and the entire under eye area as well. I'm using a 217 brush from MAC to do this, but you can use any brush you want. Next, I'm using soft brown eyeshadow by MAC and putting that into the crease. I'm doing it really roughly, as you can see here. I'm not trying to get a dark crease at all. It's just to give it a little bit of depth, but you really shouldn't even be able to see that there is a specific, different color on the lid besides Sin. It's just a tiny, tiny depth difference. Next, I'm going to go ahead and foil my brush again, this time an eyeshadow brush, and I'm using MAC's translucent teal pigment. And I'm going to be putting that all over her eyelid from the outer 1/3 to the inner corner, but I'm only doing 3/4 of the eye. I really like how this pigment looks foiled, but every pigment is not meant to be foiled, so just be careful. Some of them look better when they're dry, so you can actually see glitter. For this one, I didn't want to see glitter. I wanted to see a sort of transparent sheen all over the eye, which is why I foiled it. And to use a really stiff, thin brush is really important when you're working with pigments like this. Next, I'm going to go ahead with MAC Rice Paper eyeshadow, and I'm putting this on the brow bone up top, and I'm not making it very dark, just a little bit to give us a highlight. Then I'm going to go in with some eyeliner. This is by Makeup Forever. It doesn't have to be this one, this is just all that I had with me at that moment. And I'm using an angled brush to put on some eyeliner. So for her, Aliza has a lot of lid space, so it's very easy for me to do thicker, darker eyeliner, but not everybody is going to have this much space. So definitely make sure you notice the person's eye, or even if it's your own, to figure out how much black eyeliner you can really wear, because sometimes black eyeliner can really close up your eye, and that's not what we're going for. Then I'm going to go in with MAC's Carbon eyeshadow, and I'm just going to pop that on top more just to dry the eyeliner than anything else, but this is a good trick if your eyeliner is sort of shiny and you want it to look matte, then you can always go with the matte black eyeshadow on top. Next, I'm going to clean out any fallout that we might have had. Not the entire under eye area, just certain parts of it. Then for foundation, I'm using Makeup Forever's HD foundation, the color 120. I really love this color, and I'm using a flat brush from Real Techniques by Samantha Chapman. And you guys know the drill with foundation. You guys can keep layering as much as you want. Aliza has beautiful skin, and this whole look is about skin, so I'm not going to really cover it up too much. But I'm going in lightly with just one layer of foundation. Then I'm going to go back in with that under eye concealer that I used before, and I'm going to go ahead and put some more on just to make sure that whatever we wiped off didn't wipe off everything, and we have a good solid highlighted under eye area. With this, it's also going to kind of be like your eraser tool, and you can go ahead and shade around the outside of the eye just to make sure that you clean up any harsh lines. Then with my Graftobian powder foundations, this is the HD powder foundation, I'm using two of the lightest colors to go ahead and pack on some of this under her eyes to make sure that we don't crease later as the night goes on. But I'm really not putting on a ton, just a bit. It also helps brighten in case you have put on some concealer that might be too dark. Then I'm going to just go ahead and set the center of her face just where people might get oily, but nowhere else. Then I'm going in with the Naked Palette's Sin eyeshadow and using that as the inner corner highlight for her. I really love this color. It's a really pretty silver champagne color. Then I'm using Handwritten and Brun, both by MAC. I'm going to use that to smudge on the bottom lash line. If you guys do not have Handwritten, you definitely need it in your life. It is the best under eye eyeshadow, eyeliner type of color. It just looks really natural on everybody. Then I'm using NARS Cap Vert Bronzer Blush Duo. I don't even know if they still sell this anymore, but I love this on lighter skin people. It's such a pretty bronzer. And this is a cream product also. I'm trying to use as many creams as I can. I'm just going around the corner of her forehead, down her cheekbone, and her jaw. Elise already has a very angular face, so I don't even need to use a lot. But I'm just going in lightly. This is not our contour. This is just a bronzer to give our face a little bit more dimension and depth. Next, I'm going with a stippling brush, also by Real Techniques, spraying that with some Fix Plus, and I'm going to use that to blend. It'll help move your brush. It'll help give you a sort of silky finish as well. And again, we're going for a really pretty complexion more than anything else, so I just want to stick with creams and just trying to make it as dewy as possible as opposed to really dry looking skin, because that looks like you have aged a lot. So what I'm going to do is take this little round motions, a few up and down motions, and push this backwards into the hairline as opposed to forward. We don't want all of her features to disappear. We just want to give us a little bit of a shadow. So it's really important you don't draw down down ways as opposed to like up and into the hairline. Next, I'm using Tint, which is a cream color based from MAC. I really love this. It's a brownish coral cream product, and I like to use this as blush on the cheeks when you're going for a color that you don't really want to be very defined, but more just like a light shadow on the cheeks. And I'm using my ring finger because you don't put too much pressure with that finger, and I'm going all the way to the apples of her cheeks and pushing it in and sort of figuring out exactly the shape that I want as I'm doing it, because you can feel her bone structure at this point. Then with Triple Fusion Mineralized Blush by MAC, I'm just using that center color, which is a bronzer, and I'm lightly putting that on top of the cream color base that we just used. You always want to set a powder with, or you always want to set a cream with a powder anyways. That's a good idea. Next, with that highlight shade, I'm just going down the bridge of her nose because I like to make people look very dewy. Next, I'm using Plum Lip Liner by MAC. If you guys don't have this, you need this. It's a must. I love this. It makes so many lipsticks wearable. And I'm putting this all over her lips as lip liner, but I'm feathering it out. This is, again, it's not gonna show at the end. It's just a little bit of a deeper color than the actual lipstick that we're gonna be using. So feather it in, let your fingers help guide you. Like, don't hold the actual pencil as though you would like a pencil that you're writing with, because you will get a way too dark line. Then I'm using a really bright, but a little bit darker mauve color. I wish I knew who that was by. I think that's MAC, but I melted it down so I don't have the name anymore. And I'm just using a lipstick brush and a palette to put that all over her lips. I'm going to keep building until I get the depth and the darkness that I want. Also, using a bright color is good because it'll stain the lip, so if you have an event to go to, you know it's not going to budge. Then with Triple Fusion, that highlighter, I'm just putting that on her Cupid's bow to give her lips a little bit of a pout. Next, I'm using Espresso eyeshadow. That's a really great color, I feel like, for dark eyebrows like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that on just like you would draw on your normal eyebrows. I'm not making it very dark. I'm not making it very defined. I'm just darkening it up a little bit and cleaning up the edges where everyone's normal eyebrows, don't tend to be very defined. So that's really all that we're doing. But I'm not changing the shape, and I'm not even trying to draw much attention to the brows because Elisa's face is already very angular. Usually brows are great to create angles and to create a shape on your face if you don't really have one, but we're not really going for that with her. Next, I'm using some lashes. I did not choose very dramatic lashes. I actually chose very small lashes because all I want to give her eyes the illusion of is a very doll-like, perfect sort of look, as opposed to flirty, as opposed to really, really full. So I just wanted it to look a little bit voluminous, but not anything too full, because this is not the wedding. Next, don't forget to use some mascara to sort of draw, you know, your normal lashes and the false lashes together. It's always a good thing to do. And in pictures, lashes are a must. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure you guys stay tuned for all the other event makeup that I'm going to be doing, because there are quite a few more ceremonies. If you liked what you saw, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my blog to see all the stills from this look as well, so you guys can see really up close and personal what every part of the makeup looks like.